Hi everybody, it's Craftin Just Because with Chris Cowan, and today we are playing with the Forever and Always bundle. It has these great sentiments and then a few flowers that coordinate with the designer series paper in the Forever Always suite. I forgot the name of it. But these little pieces will do one of the long sentiments, and then you can layer the love, the always, multi-layers. So that's really, really nice. And I wanted to create a quick and easy 3D project for you like I usually do once a week. And I saw that the Paper Pixie made this cute little box, and it is 1.5 by 1.5 by 1.5. And what's really fun about this box is it's no adhesive box except for when you're gluing your decorations on, and it can fold flat. So you can make a bunch of these and have them laying around flat so that they're not taking up space when you need to gift something or do a favor, things like that. And how you put it together is the back piece that doesn't have any designer series paper, that gets folded all the way to the back. And then you just flip up your ends, fill it, and you could do earrings, some jewelry, a Ferrero Rocher ball, some nugget candies, and then just seal it up. So I'm going to show you how to make this. What you're first going to want to do is you're going to want a piece of black, basic black cardstock that is cut at 6 inches by 7.5 inches. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper trimmer, because we're going to do some scoring, and you're going to score along the 6-inch side at 3/4 of an inch, at 2 1/4, at 3 3/4, and at 5 1/4. Then you're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and on that 7.5 inch side, you want to score it at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. Okay, now you're going to do one other thing. You're going to flip it back to the 90 degrees on that 6-inch side, and you're going to go from the top to the 4th score line, so all the way until you hit the bottom square. Okay? All the way till you hit the bottom square, and you're going to score it at 1.5 inches and 4.5 inches. So 1.5, and then I'm gonna put my score blade and I'm just gonna score it there, and then 4.5 inches. I'm gonna do the same thing. We are not gonna burnish those score lines, so we're only gonna burnish the ones that are full score lines. Now what you're going to do is you're gonna move your paper trimmer, and we're going to go ahead and score those score lines that were the full score line. And then what you're going to do is on the side or the end that has the partial score lines, that's the end that you want on the right-hand side. Okay? Now we're going to do a little bit of cutting and trimming so that we could add our designer series paper on here. So what we're going to do, and there's a template provided for you, we're going to cut off the top and bottom 2 squares on the first section. So like that. And like that. Okay. Then we are going to cut the top and the bottom 2 squares on the second section. Let's cut that off. And we're going to wedge those up. So I'm going to just wedge up like that so that it folds up nice and easy. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We're going to cut those two. And then I'm going to wedge it out. Okay. Now the third section, we want to cut, we just want the box in the middle left. So we're going to do the 3 sections on the top and the bottom. Okay. Now on the fourth one, we're going to make it like our second one. So I'm going to cut off the top and bottom, top 2 squares, and then wedge it out. Okay, and then wedge it out. Okay, so now let's get rid of all that extra squares that we had. And we are going to round the corners on the top and bottom of the long section. And I found that even after I did this, I needed to wedge it a little bit, but I liked doing the corner rounding first and then go back and wedge it a little bit. So I'll show you how I did that. I just kind of went like that. Okay. Okay. Now we want to put on our designer series paper. So you should have 4 pieces cut at 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. And you're going to put them on all the squares except for this first little one. So you're going to put them on all the little squares like this. Okay. So let's get our glue. Okay, so now we're going to let that set up and dry for a moment. We're going to take our little sentiment block here, and we are going to want to stamp for you on it. And how I did that, there's a little bit of a trick here. So there isn't a 4 in this stamp set, but there is a U. So I took the forever end and I'm just going to put the block on the 4. You might get a little bit of that E, but not a lot. And you're going to take your black Stampin' Right marker, and on the brush end, you're going to color in the word for. Okay, then you're going to huff on it, and you're going to stamp that right on down. Whoops. Let's see how we did. Oh, I didn't get the top. Bummer. Let me see if I could fix this. You might not see it on screen because I gotta pull it closer to me. Okay, we're gonna flip it over and try it again. Bummer. Okay. I did it perfectly the first time. Of course, not on camera. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to put the whole U on the stamp block and color that in, just since I have my Stampin' Right marker right out here. And the huffing keeps the ink wet. That's why you want to huff it when you're all done. And a trick to not having to do this over again would be to do it with your Stamparatus. For you. Okay. So now let's assemble our box up. I'm going to go ahead and fold that side in. Oh, we forgot to do something. Hold on. You're going to take a small hole punch and you're going to do a half of that circle into the punch so that you have a spot to put your fingers to open and close the box. Just like that. Okay. So now we're going to hold that up, click the bottom, and tuck in that bottom part. Perfect. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Okay. Now I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to glue it here at an angle, just like this. And then I went ahead and pre-die cut out some of the flower dies that are in this bundle. And out of the Love You Always specialty, or sorry, Love You Always foil paper. And then I'm going to add a few rhinestones, and I like to do things in threes, so I'm going to go ahead and add, whoops, one in the middle of these. Flowers. And then I'm going to add one here in between the 4 and the U. And that is your project for today. So there's the one that we just made, and then I'm going to show you guys. Here's my sample. Just like that. So I appreciate you guys joining me today. If you liked what you saw, hit the bell notification and it will notify you of any future videos that I have. And until next time, my crafting friends, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.